So Rogue is now watching his brother, Phoenix, getting some training. Hope you're learning from this, mate. I hope you're learning. So Anita's trying to teach Phoenix here some recall. So the dog knows recall, but he sees it as negotiable. And one of the biggest challenges is with these dogs, and a lot of dogs, is dogs are not used to, when I go and see them, the dogs are not used to following. They're only used to leading. They're only used to giving rules and not following rules. So they can find that really hard to learn to follow a rule. Like, what sort of rule? A rule like, don't eat other dogs. A rule like, don't pull me off my feet. A rule like, come back when I tell you. Rules that the dog should be following. But the dog usually leads in those rules and goes, I'll come back when I like, I'll pull you off your feet, I'll eat that dog. So it's a bit of a transition. And when you see a bit of a transition, the dog can be a wee bit unsure, because the dog is used to leading and now you're telling it to follow. So, and you can get that with anything, like you're trying to teach the dog place, or in particular, you're making it fun, and etc. But the dog can still maybe be a wee bit unsure because it's learning, but it's also transitioning from leading in a situation to following. So sometimes you can go, I'm doing the wrong thing, or I'm being abusive, or I'm making the dog scared, and it's just not true. What's happening is the dog is transitioning from leading in discussions to following, and that can be really hard. And that's what we're getting here. Phoenix, he's learning to more piano lessons rather than just being at soft play all the time. Look, very nice. So what she's saying is, look, have the freedom, on you go over there, but on my terms. And he's like, what? He's like, no, I go there, but on my terms. And that's him learning it. And at the same time, there's things like the line is more annoying than the remote collar. You know, so him like getting tangled with the line is more annoying, but it's a necessary evil while you're doing remote collar, until you're totally confident with remote collar, which is far more superior than the long line. But the line is almost your necessary evil. And think of this as like the piano lessons, if you like, and you as the owner, me as the trainer, we are the piano teachers, and the dog is learning the piano. So it's easier when a trainer's doing it because they already know the piano. This is perfect because there's a dog over there, and he would normally be going crazy just at that dog over there, and he's more following the owner, which is wonderful. It's beautiful. He's learning to follow rather than lead. So he's holding the line, but look how much it's back, like dragging. Like the dog is used to, even in this, he's like struggling. He's like, I need to jump on you, I need to do something to lead. And you're like, no, just follow as me. And the more you follow, you get more freedom. As well as that, the dog is, as I say, is learning the piano, and the human is the piano teacher. But see, the line causes more annoyance than the actual collar. But the human's learning the piano at the same time. Like she's learning still bits of the remote collar and things like that. So, and building her confidence. So the dog knows that. So just learn together and take your time. Take away distractions if you can and just be successful. This is good. So this is kind of in the last video what I was doing with Rogue, and she's doing with Phoenix, and Rogue is looking on intently. Not necessarily in a good way, by the way. That's not necessarily good. Hey, good job, buddy. Good job. Walk backwards, tap, nice. Now what you want to make sure you try and do is get the tap before he feels the prong, because he's going to come to the prong anyway. Yeah. So but you're trying to teach him to come to this e-collar, you know? So then eventually basically your prong or your line is your backup, your e-collar is your communication device, and you're associating that with your verbal, so then you only need verbal. See how annoying the line is to him? The line annoys him. Poor Phoenix. He's doing very well though for a dog that hasn't been like walked in months. And his brother, too zoomed in, and his brother as well. Doing so well. Really good. So always when you're first teaching, e-collar first, then name, command, affection. Okay, so you're teaching the dog how to escape or get rid of the little tapping, which is by coming to you. And when they come to you, you're linking that with voice. So over time you can just use verbal. And then when the dog comes to you, so look at the line wrapped around him, like annoying him. The handle needs to do better. I need to learn how to not have it wrapped around him. You know, and that's just trial and error. And then when the dog comes, you give affection. Walk backwards, tap. Make sure you see a tap, you see the response from the collar before you say, Phoenix, come. You need to get confident that the collar's getting his attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah.